Good to see you, curious minds! And this might be the most AI-dense keynote Google has ever delivered. Not because of one big thing, but because of 5 big things, all landing at once. A new Gemini model that changes the pricing game. A 24/7 AI agent that lives inside your Google account. A native video generation model. A new laptop platform. And an operating system that merges Android and Chrome OS for the first time. Let's break down what's coming and why it matters for your workflow. Let's start with the model that leaked 2 weeks ago and immediately broke the AI pricing conversation. On May 5th, a screenshot surfaced on X showing a new model picker in the Gemini iOS app. For a few minutes, Gemini 3.2 Flash sat alongside Gemini 3 Flash and Gemini 3.1 Pro before a quiet backend rollback pulled it. But the cat was out of the bag. That same evening, developers found pricing metadata in Google AI Studio. 25 cents per million input tokens, $2 per million output tokens. To put that in context, Gemini 3 Flash currently costs 50 cents per million input tokens. Gemini 3.2 Flash would be half the price of its predecessor, while reportedly hitting 92% of GPT-5.5's performance. Early benchmarks suggest a sub-200 millisecond latency profile, making it viable for real-time applications where Flash models already excel. If these numbers hold, 3.2 Flash becomes the most cost-effective frontier-adjacent model on the market. Period. The strategic play here is unmistakable. Google is compressing the mid-tier just as OpenAI prepares to launch GPT-5.5. The message to developers is, build on Gemini, scale affordably, and don't look back. Now for the announcement I'm most excited about. Google is internally testing an AI agent codenamed Remy, described in leaked internal documents as your 24/7 personal agent for work, school, and daily life. Powered by Gemini. It's currently being dogfooded by Google employees in a staff-only Gemini build. Here's what makes Remy different. It doesn't just answer questions. It takes actions. Remy connects directly to your Gmail, Calendar, Drive, and Docs. It can summarize your unread email, flag urgent items, draft replies, organize meetings, and even make purchases on your behalf. An APK teardown revealed capability strings including communicate with others, share documents, and make purchases. It also learns your preferences over time. The kind of persistent memory that turns a chatbot into a genuine digital companion. There's a task dashboard with 4 categories: completed, in progress, needs input, and scheduled. You can pin, rename, and continue tasks across sessions. This isn't a one-shot query tool. It's a persistent agent with state. The competitive context is worth noting. OpenClaw, Hermes Agent, Perplexity's personal computer. They all ship autonomous agents today, but none of them sit inside a product with Gemini's installed base. Gemini ships on every Android device by default. If Remy arrives as a Gemini feature rather than a standalone product, it lands pre-installed on over 2 billion devices. There are important caveats. Remy is still in dogfooding. Google hasn't confirmed the name publicly, and the privacy implications of an agent that reads your email, monitors your calendar, and makes purchases are substantial. Google's own strings warn users it can make mistakes and expose data unintentionally. But the direction is clear. But the model and the agent are just the beginning, because Google is also bringing native video generation directly into Gemini, and that changes the competitive landscape entirely. Just over a week ago, a Reddit user opened their Gemini app and got a pop-up. Create with Gemini Omni. Meet our new video model. Remix your videos, edit directly in chat, try a template, and more. Gemini Omni appears to be Google's next-generation video generation model, and it's different from Veo in a fundamental way. Where Veo was a separate product line, Omni is embedded inside Gemini. You prompt for video the same way you prompt for text or images. It's all one interface. The early demos are impressive. One user prompted a professor writing a mathematical proof on a chalkboard. Omni generated a lifelike video with correct reasoning. The chalk equations actually made sense. Another test showed a seaside restaurant scene with 2 men eating spaghetti. The model handled complex scene composition, camera angles, and facial expressions. Metadata suggests Omni is built on top of Veo's architecture, but fine-tuned specifically for conversational video generation. The model ID references Veo internally, but the user experience is entirely Gemini native. Current limits suggest 10-second generations on the AI Pro plan, with daily caps that fill quickly. But the existence of the model and its placement directly inside the Gemini app signals that Google wants video to live in the same conversational interface as text, image, and reasoning. Not as a separate product, but as a native modality. If Omni launches at I.O., it arrives at a pivotal moment. OpenAI recently sunset Sora's standalone video generation. Runway is pushing Gen 4, 5. ByteDance has CDance 2.0. But a unified Omni model that handles text, images, and video in one system would be a genuine architectural first. Now for something completely different, and just as significant. On May 12th, Google officially announced the Google Book, a new category of laptops built from the ground up for Gemini intelligence. Partners include Acer, Asus, Dell, HP, and Lenovo. These are premium machines with a distinctive glow bar design, shipping this fall. The Google Book runs on a new operating system internally codenamed Aluminum OS, a merger of Android and Chrome OS into a single unified platform. The Verge confirmed the codename, though Google says it won't be the final brand. The key feature, something called Magic Pointer. You wiggle your cursor, and Gemini offers contextual suggestions based on what you're pointing at. Point at a date in an email. Set up a meeting. Select 2 images. See them composited together. It's AI at the cursor, built directly into the OS. You can also create custom widgets by prompting Gemini in plain language. Organize my flight and hotel info for Berlin. And Gemini pulls from Gmail and Calendar to build a personalized dashboard on your desktop. Google Books also feature quick access, letting you view, search, and insert files from your Android phone directly in the laptop file browser. No cables, no transfers, no cloud sync required. Aluminum OS itself is further along than many expected. A 16-minute hands-on leak from earlier this month showed a functional desktop shell with virtual desktops, freeform window resizing, a bottom app dock, and an adapted quick settings panel. It's effectively a desktop-optimized Android, closer to an upgraded Samsung DeX than to Windows or macOS. The timeline. Commercial trusted testers get access in late 2026, with a full release expected in 2028. Chrome OS remains supported through at least 2033, so existing Chromebook users aren't being left behind. But the direction is unmistakable. Google is building a unified OS future, and it starts with the Google Book. So we've covered the model, the agent, the video model, and the laptop. But there's more coming at I.O. that's worth keeping your ears perked for. Let's round out the preview with the announcements that might not headline the keynote, but could be just as impactful. First, Android XR smart glasses. Google confirmed partnerships with Warby Parker and Gentle Monster for AI-powered glasses, running Project Astra. A Q4 2026 consumer launch is expected, and I.O. will likely serve as the detailed reveal. Think real-time object recognition, contextual memory, and Gemini-powered visual intelligence. All in a form factor that actually looks good. Second, Android 17. While Google has been moving toward a more continuous update model, I.O. is still where developers get the early look. Expect deeper Gemini integration at the OS level. Third, the wild cards, we could see a Gemini 4 teaser. Google Cloud CEO Thomas Kurian said a new version very, very soon back in April. There could be updates to Veo that we haven't heard about. Search AI mode upgrades, new TPU generations, and possibly a preview of Project Glasswing or other long-term bets from Google DeepMind. Google I.O. 2026 is shaping up to be a defining moment, not because any single announcement is earth-shattering on its own, but because together, they paint a picture of a Google that's finally aligning its AI strategy across every layer of the stack. A cheaper, faster Gemini model for developers. A persistent agent that lives in your Google account. Native video generation inside the chat interface. A new laptop platform built for AI. And an operating system that unifies mobile and desktop for the first time. The thread connecting all of it. Google is betting that the future of computing isn't a single device, or a single model. It's an intelligent layer that follows you across every screen. And I/O is where that